Hey guys, what's up? What we're going to be doing is we are going to be creating this clock out here, and it's just saying the correct time according to my time zone, so which is 8:05 p.m. Before going into the video, I just want to say something that I have noticed that a lot of viewers who are watching this haven't subscribed to the channel. Would really give me the boost to subscribe to my channel, and also if you like the video, comment quite often, give a like button and all of that. For today, we'll see how to create this. First, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and create a folder in our desktop. We'll call this as clock. So clock, we'll open it with code, and then we'll create a HTML file. So index.html. We'll create the basic body structure. We'll name this as clock. So that's easy. Now what we want to do is just the time in the middle. Give it an ID of clock. So we'll give it an ID of clock. That's a shortcut for that. What we'll do is we'll give it a time, so that's the time. So just so that you know that there's something there, so we'll give it. We'll close this, we'll put it in the side. So the kind of design we want is something like this. So that's why the PM and AM we'll look into that when we go to the JavaScript. Now let's see how this one actually looks like. Open it with live server. We wanted this kind of design where it has a border and all of that, and we want it in the center of the page. So we wanted it in the center of the page. So this is how the original design is. So let's go ahead and create that. So for that we'll create a style.css file. So style.css file. We'll link it to our HTML file. So we'll say link CSS and give it /. So that'll be the style.css file. We'll save it. We'll go it here. So first what we got to do is we've got to bring the text almost in the center. So we'll do to access the ID, and we'll do text align center, and we'll give it a margin top of not 50 VH but 40 VH, so that there's some space in the middle too. And we'll give the font size to be around in the EM scale. So we'll give it 10 EM. Now you must have seen that it had a box kind of structure. This one, it has a box. So we'll give it a border. So we'll do border, give it 2 pixel length. We want it solid, and we'll give it a black color. So sorry, spelling error. So now you can see the border is till my end of the page. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a margin. So what I initially thought of was that I'll give a margin of 0 to the top and the bottom, and for the left and the right I'll give it a 30 rem. So looking at this, it does fit in there, and when you add the AM PM it will almost confined to that. But the problem here is it goes on to the top. So what I did was I actually had to do a bit of a work. So if you guys find a better way to do this, do let me know in the comment section. So margin left I wrote 30 rem, and then I did right, margin right also to be 30 rem. So this didn't affect the top and bottom, didn't do anything, just gave it margin left and right. So that's how it was confined to the center. Now let's go on to the JavaScript part. So we'll create a script.js file. Once we have linked this JavaScript file, what we have is just this structure. So we'll go ahead and create a JavaScript. Now we'll go ahead and create a function in JavaScript. So we'll create this function. We'll call this setTime. First, we'll be using is this date library from JavaScript. Let's create a instance of that library. So let time be equal to new date. We'll set the hour. So how that works is time.getHours, and that's a function. Next is minutes. So get minutes. So next is seconds. As you must have seen that in our prototype that we wanted to create, we had that AM PM variation. So we'll create a variable called AM_PM. We'll set it to AM in the start. Now if R is greater than 12, what we wanted to do is we'll say R minus equal to 12. We'll reduce it, and we'll set the AM_PM to be PM. Now if R is equal to 0, because that's what the date object gives us, equal to 0, we want the R to be set to 12, and AM_PM should be equal to AM. That's done. Now what we wanted to add is this 0, because JavaScript does not already give it with it. So what we'll do is r is equal to, we'll use a question mark if r is lesser than 10. If it's lesser than 10, what we got to do is we've got to add the 0 to it and then r, and if else, just be that r. And the same goes for minutes and seconds. Now we've just got to do that current time. So we'll just say current time, what should be equal to, r plus, and we want that colon in the middle. So wait a minute, that's seconds. So that's what tab9 does. It just makes your job so much more easier. So, and then we'll use get element by id and inner HTML to like assign it to this clock. So once you remove this, it will be blank. You save it and you see it will be blank. It's just blank. So we want the current time to be in that spot. So we'll say get element by id, and you have to give it in quotes, clock dot inner HTML. The inner HTML should be what? Should be the current time. So once the inner HTML is there, the boxing and all the CSS will do. We've just got one thing left, because it knows that HTML has to go to the JavaScript file after it's done with that div, but it does not know that it has to run this function. So for that, what we'll do is we'll put that interval. What this will help us do is we have to set the time after how many seconds this function has to keep on running. So we'll say set time, that's the function name, and this is in milliseconds. So every 1000 milliseconds this has to be run. 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. So every 1 second this function has to run. So such that it will like look like it's like changing automatically. It's just that displaying different values one at a time. So once you save it, you go here, you can see. Okay, I forgot to add that AM, so I just add it here. You can go there, you can do AM underscore PM. Once you add that to, you'll see you have that PM, or you can even add a space if you want. So it'll like make it look much better. So you have that space. See, it's 9:13:56 PM, and that's what I have it in railway time. That's 21:14. So this is how the simple clock is done. And if you guys like this video, like I previously told, do give a like button, comment it, whatever any view you have positive, negative, anything is cool. And if you haven't still subscribed to my channel, please do consider subscribing, because we've got a lot of stuff coming up on our way. So let's meet up in the next video. Thank you guys.